What is up, guys, and welcome to the IAAPA 2021 special edition of the Coaster Rundown. My name is Cole, aka Park Pros. I'm joined, as always, by my buddy Jack, aka Coaster John. Jack, how we doing this week?
I'm excited as heck for the IAAPA special. Are you ready for it?
Okay, so for those unfamiliar, IAAPA is the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions, and they host a yearly expo where manufacturers and vendors showcase the latest technology to different owners and operators of theme parks across the world. With the IAAPA Expo usually comes a lot of exciting announcements, and that's what we're here to cover today. So without further ado, let's jump into the top stories out of IAAPA. So FunSpot America Atlanta kicked off IAAPA with a bang by officially announcing Airy Force One, which is a ground-up RMC roller coaster. Airy Force One is going to be the largest coaster in the history of the FunSpot chain, with a price tag of $13 million. It'll stand 154 feet tall, spans 3,400 feet of track, and has a top speed of 64 miles per hour. Jack, we've been getting previews of this coaster since I think July, but now that it's officially announced, I don't think anyone could have anticipated that this coaster would be as good as it looks. What are your thoughts on Airy Force One?
Yeah, Airy Force One, super exciting announcement. It was long awaited, like you mentioned. Personally, to me, the name is okay. I get that it references the park owners. Their last name is Airy. I think it would have been a whole lot cooler if they just went with Air Force One and called it a day. Obviously, it's FunSpot America, so it's patriotic. It's really cool. I want to mention the trains too. The trains are pretty cool as well. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I've heard a lot of people like really raving about this train. I think compared to some of the other FunSpot trains, like the Mind Blower one with all the dynamite on the front, I think this one's just okay. I like the little details like on the sides, and it kind of looks like an airplane, like a fighter jet almost. The ride itself looks amazing. Some crazy elements. That huge dive loop, and the huge zero-G stall and quad down and all these different like crazy elements. It to me looks like has the possibility to be a top 5 RMC in the United States, if not the world. I honestly feel like the loser here in this situation is Six Flags Over Georgia and Twisted Cyclone, because now Twisted Cyclone is already kind of a bottom tier RMC, and now it's not even going to be the best RMC in its own city. So that's unfortunate for them there. But congrats to FunSpot, man, because this is such a super exciting announcement, and it's a really good sign for the chain ahead. So I'm super excited about it.
I agree with your analysis. I think that this definitely does have the potential to be a top 5 RMC. And to me, what kind of stands out about this coaster is it looks like a roller coaster enthusiast designed it. Like it has relentless pacing. Like, who throws a quad
Absolutely.
down on like a coaster like this? And there's no other RMC that even has that besides Lightning Rod, obviously. And just the elements, the inversions, the pacing from the animation. What it takes it at, it just looks like it's going to be a really, really solid RMC.
Yeah, Cole, that was a really great point. The fact that it seems like a roller coaster enthusiast designed this ride on like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something, because it is a really crazy looking design. And to me, it's a really good sign too, the fact that maybe FunSpot is kind of tuning into the roller coaster enthusiast opinion. The fact that we love RMC so much, and we're starting to go to FunSpot parks, and maybe FunSpot's starting to get a little bit of money from the roller coaster enthusiasts. I don't know, but our RMC really is a popular manufacturer now, and it's just so crazy that there's going to be one going to a FunSpot park, and it's going to be one of the better ones out there. So it's super exciting.
And I think you're onto something there. I think with the kind of growing conglomerate of roller coaster enthusiasts, as this hobby continues to become more mainstream, I mean, we'll go out of our way to get an SPF Visa credit at like a pizza place, right? Like, imagine how far people are going to go on their road trips and such to get on this ride, what looks like we said, a top 5 RMC. So I think FunSpot kind of, this was an expensive project for them, obviously, but I think some of their thought process between that is this is going to be a countrywide attraction that people will travel to get on. So, and yeah, maybe this is something to keep an eye on going forward. These small family-owned parks, independently owned, these FECs, adding massive attractions like this to draw in the national crowd.
Yeah, there used to hardly be anything at all at FunSpot Atlanta, so that's why they're really going, all out with this new edition, and this is obviously going to be the best coaster there. And you mentioned traveling to this park too. Honestly, think about it now. Traveling to Atlanta for Six Flags Over Georgia and FunSpot Atlanta, that's going to be one of the best places to go for roller coasters in the country. That's going to be like one of the best 1-2 punch parks in just one city. Pretty much anywhere in the country. So, I mean, that's going to be awesome. The fact that there's going to be 2 RMC hybrid coasters out there. It's, I'm so excited to go there in 2022.
So, yeah, just very exciting news to kick off IAAPA.
On Wednesday, Ride Entertainment announced on Gerstlauer's behalf that the rumored new for 2022 Infinity Coaster will be called Palindrome and will be built at a new park in Austin, Texas called Codaland. Opening as a children's amusement park late last year as a part of the Circuit of the Americas racetrack, Codaland, which is short for Circuit of the Americas, will have a total of 4 coasters by the time Palindrome is built, also featuring a Schwarzkopf Wildcat and 2 kiddie coasters. Now, here's the craziest part about Palindrome. It's going to be the first Infinity shuttle coaster in the United States, featuring a unique looking vertical spike that they're calling a vertical hop stall, as well as a zero-G stall, which goes over an actual road. Now, Cole, when we were speculating last episode about where this Infinity coaster might go, we did say that there was a good chance that the park of choice would be pretty off the radar. And I think it's safe to say that that ended up being true. So take me through your thoughts on Palindrome.
Yeah, off the radar is right. I mean, they did say high profile location. This is a massive racetrack. I really did not know that this theme park was being developed like this. Like you said, it was kind of a kiddie park opening up just this year. But to get a coaster like this, yeah, and like you said, they'll have a total of 4 coasters. This one is super unique. I love, kind of like the turntable element. There's even like times where in the animation, the car's going up the lift hill while another car's still in the turntable. There are some capacity issues, I think, but like you said, just super unique. It's kind of cool to see an Infinity coaster like this, a shuttle coaster that we haven't seen in the United States before. Completely unique to Monster and Hang Time. So it's right in between Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Texas as well. So just another stop in Texas for us enthusiasts to go check out. And this looks like a really fun ride.
Yeah, absolutely, Cole. And you mentioned the capacity issue. That was the next thing I was going to bring up. That's definitely the biggest concern for me. Yeah, the turntable seems pretty good. I'm not super familiar if there's any other Gerstlauers that feature that element. I know Intamin's gotten better with their switch tracks and things like that. So that technology has developed a little bit. I think it also depends on too whether or not this park is open while there's races going on, and that I think completely changes the clientele of who exactly is at the park at one time. So I do think there is a good chance that this might have a pretty long line, at least for the opening year, and like I said, depending on whether or not there's races going on. So yeah, this definitely just seems like a super fun, super unique ride, and we haven't even mentioned the Twisted First Drop yet, which I think will provide a great pop of airtime. It definitely seems super unique, and I've never seen anything like it before because there hasn't been anything like this in the US before. But yeah, great for Codaland and Circuit of the Americas. It's definitely a really cool attraction that they're bringing, and hopefully over the years we can see this park expand a little bit. So it's definitely super exciting.
On one of the first ever episodes of the Coaster Rundown, we told you about the new Mattel Adventure Park coming to the Phoenix area in 2022. Flying a little bit under the radar at the IAAPA Expo with all these other coaster announcements was the Chance Rides booth, where one of their displays unveiled that the Mattel Adventure Park will be opening 2 Hot Wheels themed roller coasters from Chance. You have the Hot Wheels Looping Coaster, which is a Chance GTX, and then Bone Shaker, which is just their family coaster model. Jack, we speculated a little bit in that episode what this Hot Wheels coaster might be in terms of the manufacturer, and it looks like we were both very wrong. But what's your hype level now that we're finally getting another Chance GTX model after all the success that Lightning Run's had at Kentucky Kingdom?
Oh, I'm super excited about it. However, I'm feeling very regretful that I did not think of Chance when we were speculating on what that coaster might be. I was kind of thinking, an Aero or Vekoma, something relocated, and I completely blanked on the Hyper GTX even being an option, especially since, Lightning Run was installed in 2014, and it's been so long, it kind of was escaped my mind. And but yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I mentioned in that episode how cool I think this Mattel Adventure Park looks. I think the whole Hot Wheels concept is really great. It's kind of a newer, property that hasn't been used yet. It's something I think a lot of people can relate to in their childhood. It's just a super fun concept. I don't love the name. It sounds very generic, Hot Wheels looping coaster. However, it is just looping, kind of like the Hot Wheels toy. I do like the name Bone Shaker a lot, and if it's anything like Nickelodeon Slime Streak at American Dream, well, it'll definitely shake your bones. I'll tell you that. So, like you mentioned, it went completely under the radar, and you and I saw that, and we're like, whoa, we've talked about this before. Like, this is a big deal, at least to us. So yeah, I mean, it definitely did get overshadowed by Palindrome and Airy Force One. But this is still just a very exciting project, and it's definitely, exciting that it's going to Arizona.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it did fly completely under the radar. I think if people were kind of aware of the fact that we're literally getting like a looping Lightning Run next year, this would have been a huge story. It's going to be an awesome ride. The pacing of Lightning Run, It's just phenomenal, great airtime. This one's going to have inversion, so it's going to add a completely different element to this model that we haven't seen. It's very exciting. This is definitely a park that's kind of flying under the radar, and I think is going to be really cool to get to in 2022, maybe 2023. So
another really cool thing that was unveiled at IAAPA this time came from the SNS Sansei booth. The long-awaited SNS Axis Coaster, which has gone from animated concept to initial prototype, has now had its official train been revealed to the public. This train looks sick, in my opinion. It's very accurate to the digital renderings that SNS did way back last year, and it features very similar soft over-the-shoulder restraints like you'll find on 4D free spin coasters. Personally, I'm so hyped to finally see one of these be built, and we're now one step closer to seeing that happen. So Cole, how are you feeling about this Axis train, and what does it mean for the future?
Yeah, I think the new train looks really clean. I think in the prototype that we saw, the train looked a little clunky. There a lot of welding was exposed. It just didn't look like the finished product at all. Now, obviously, we have that. It looks great. And if I'm not mistaken, did they not announce that there was going to be an Axis coaster somewhere in Europe in 2023? I'm surprised that Six Flags hasn't pulled the trigger on one of these coasters. I mean, they love their 4D free spins, and this is kind of just an upgraded version of that. We'll see how the one in Europe does when that opens, but these coasters look insane. I think they have a lot of potential. Even the prototype, layout looks really solid. So it'll be interesting to see whether this model kind of catches on or not.
Yeah, Cole, you mentioned Six Flags, and to me, I'm still shocked that the new coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas didn't end up being one of these SNS Axis coasters. Because you and I both know that Six Flags has a great relationship with SNS, and I do still see this going to a Six Flags park. Now it's just a matter of which one.
So for our final story out of IAAPA, the Lost Island theme park and Sally Dark Rides announced in a joint presentation that Lost Island will debut Volcano Quest for the Golden Idol, which is a Sally shooting dark ride with the park in 2022. Visitors to the attraction will embark on an action-packed adventure to find the sacred Ora Tika statue responsible for keeping the volcano dormant. Jack, I was fortunate enough to tour the construction site of Volcano last month, and the owners told me then that this attraction was going to be kind of the climax of the entire park experience. And between the impressive, exterior of the ride, the volcano, and these new images we got from IAAPA, this ride just looks completely awesome. What are your thoughts on this announcement, and how does the ride experience look to you?
Well, I think it looks super exciting, and honestly, I'm jealous of you, the fact that you got that sneak peek preview at the Lost Island theme park and got to see Volcano and all this stuff. Yeah, super cool concept that they've unveiled here. And I think it's going to be awesome. And as you mentioned, it definitely does seem like the most immersive and, kind of like the big ticket attraction at the new park. If it's anything like kind of like an upgraded like Justice League Battle for Metropolis, and maybe kind of like a downgraded like Disney, like one of the Avatar rides or something like that. If it's right there kind of in the happy middle, then this ride will be a slam dunk, especially for the area, especially for the Midwest and Iowa. And the whole park is so unique, and all the different like stories that they're coming up with. It's super impressive.
From everything I heard, this is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg of all the theming and storylines that this park will feature. And I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised by, the immersiveness of this park, the storyline when it opens next year. So definitely a lot of really exciting stuff coming out of Lost Island. That is it for the 2021 IAAPA special edition of the Coaster Rundown. Be sure to go check out Jack's channel. It'll be in the description down below. He's on the push for 1,000 followers, so go give him some love. And if you're not already, subscribe to Park Pros down below. I just released a top 25 Midwest coasters video last week, so go check that out as well. And as always, thank you guys for tuning into the Coaster Rundown, and we'll see you next time with some more great coaster news.
Peace, guys.